Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week, unless we miss them, we come and talk to you about all things Lorcana.
Like last week?
Yeah, like last week and probably a couple of weeks coming up.
Yippee!
Life gets busy at the end of the school year if you've got children, as any other parent probably knows. It's been a couple of weeks, but we are back. We've got lots and lots of stuff to talk
I
about.
made up a song because it's the end of the school year.
Nope.
We talked about let's try to stay on topic.
Because we have a lot to cover.
5 minutes. You didn't last 30 seconds, man.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. You couldn't even, I made up a song at the end of the school year. Not on topic at all. Okay.
All right, anyway, Dad.
Why don't we introduce who we are?
I'm Matt.
I'm Malcolm. I'm Evan.
And I'm Jen. Thanks, Malcolm. Thanks for keeping us on track.
If you didn't hear my name because I was coughing, I'm Emmett.
Great.
This is your first episode. I'm surprised you made it this far.
Yeah. So we got lots of stuff. Normally we would talk about how we've been playing. It's been like 2 weeks since we've been able to play.
No, we played on Sunday.
No, we did not. We did not play on Sunday.
Because
it was Memorial Day. You went away.
Oh, right.
The league points didn't really count at the store. There wasn't a whole lot of people showing up.
Well,
Malcolm,
we can talk about how we played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
I won.
I did.
Obviously.
No, Emmett won.
Oh yeah, I won.
Yeah, like it was me versus Emmett in like the top game.
That's right.
I beat Mom.
And he beat me.
Yes.
So he ended up winning the day.
Yes, Emmett took top place. Very, very cool
And what
dude.
did I get in my packs?
Nothing.
Nothing. And of course, he got another Tamatoa.
Well, sometimes you just got the hot hand.
Apparently.
That was the last week for League. They're wrapping up the promo stuff this Sunday for that. I know I ended up topping in points for League, which is cool.
Nice.
We'll play for a box, or we'll decide to split it. I think we might play for it, because I think me and one of the other guys that were in the top 4, we really want to play each other.
Oh, right.
And we never get paired up.
Sure.
Ever.
Sure.
So this would be our only opportunity to play each other where it actually means something.
No, because what would happen is the 4 of you would still get paired up so that you don't play each other.
Yes, that is for sure what would happen. So the top 4 of us will usually play for a box at our league, so the top 4 point getters for the season. And there's me and another guy at the store. He's one of the better players at the store for sure. It's usually one of a couple of us, usually are the regular top players. And it's been a running gag that we don't get paired.
Unless
ever.
you lose.
Yeah, we paired once throughout this entire last season, and it was when we both lost our first game.
Yes.
That was the only way we got paired. We were both in top 4 at the set championships.
Still didn't.
But he lost his match and I won mine.
Exactly.
So it was I thought we would finally get paired together. We actually were hoping for it. Both of us were like, man, that would have been awesome. If finally, the whole set, we've been wanting to play each other, where it would actually, we can play each other anytime, but where it would actually mean something to end the store championship and end the season like that would have been awesome, and we just didn't work out. But still, so odds are we will play for it, I think, just so that we can play. But that's all wrapped up. We're going to be heading into Reign of Jafar this weekend. It's Thursday as we're recording this, so you're going to have a lot of pre-release events coming up this weekend. So you're going to get drafts, you're going to get sealed, you're going to get starter decks. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But first, it's mail call time.
Mail call. What's the song?
That has to be your worst song ever.
What's the song from Blue's Clues?
I don't know.
Mail call.
No.
You guys didn't watch
We
Blue's
got
Clues.
mail. We got mail.
So if you're not watching on the video cast, so basically we've got a very large cardboard box from Fulfillment Center in California.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure...
I've already opened it up, so I know what it is.
Yes. So anyways, it's the D23
It's the
kit.
D23 kit.
So let's open it up and check out what we got this year.
Whoa. So we've got a nice little D23 sticker that we will gently tear off.
And not rip off.
So first of all,
What is it?
we have our D23 Gold Membership Kit
D43
packet. So if somebody wants to take that.
All right, so while you're getting out the next thing. So in here, this is probably the main reason that it has anything to do with Lorcana. We open it up. We got a D23 sticker or magnet featuring Goofy and Max, since it is the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie. We got the D23 gold savings passport. So Jen can take this with her
When I go to Disneyland
to
this summer.
Disneyland, see if there's anything she can use that on.
Yes, nice.
We've got the D23 gold member Stitch pin. Very cool.
Ooh, that'll have to go on our...
And the main piece de resistance for this is our Iago Reign of Jafar card promo for D23 this year. So a nice hollow Iago out of reach. He's a 4-cost inkable steel card, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 2, special ability self-preservation. While you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. It's all hollowed out. It's got the like sand shifty effect that the Reign of Jafar, the Palace Heist stuff has.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
You're never sorry to interrupt.
when I'm looking through the deals in this book, I just find this, which is just 30% off any Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Well, at the Coca-Cola store.
Because the Coca-Cola Club inside Disneyland, man.
It's just funny to think of that.
We've got our certificate, our card, our gold member card with Stitch on it. Most likely because the Lilo and Stitch movie just came out. We have not seen that movie. I don't think we'll plan on seeing it in the theater. We're not huge Lilo and Stitch fans. And there's no Gantu in it, so...
What?
Yep, spoiler, sorry.
And then we got this plaque that says, "Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy."
Oh, that's cool.
So that's really cool. I'm assuming that this is a plaque that's at the beginning of Disneyland.
You've been a member
This can go like right underneath maybe our little case of cards up there.
Maybe, we'll see.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Doesn't say that at all.
It doesn't, but that is a great song.
Yes, okay, it has
on
the
a
word
great
tomorrow
ride.
in it. Yeah, sure.
Tomorrow.
And then, of course, we have our
Book.
Whoa. That is cool.
That is bigger than normal.
The Happiest Place on Earth, the incredible story of Walt Disney's Disneyland. So it looks like it's a coffee table book. And,
I don't know what that means.
don't touch it, don't touch it. Careful. Okay. So this talks about celebrating 70 years of Disneyland Resort, which we were lucky enough to stay at for the first time last summer. Not the actual Disney, but like within the Disneyland Resort area. And it looks like this on the back. It's like a, it looks like this must be like his notes, like Walt's notes about how he was what he was going to put on that plaque.
Sure.
And how to create the plaque
that we have
just
here.
looked at.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
So it goes with it. And then on the inside, the cover kind of looks like old like advertisements and like newspaper kind of cartoons and ads. And then
That's neat.
it's a very thick book.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. We'll get a chance to look through it and
It has lots of pictures. Also has lots of maps, like preliminary maps and stuff. Definitely super cool. Talks about like from the Chicago World Fair, which is where some of the rides began at. So looks very cool.
Can't whisper things, man.
Oh, sorry. It's a podcast.
No, the maps are not Lorcana references.
No, but
Maps existed before Lorcana.
and even has a thing for costumes, like what they had people wear, and amazing. Like I'm super excited to take some time to look through this.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
Today and enter the world.
Very
of
heavy.
yesterday, tomorrow and fantasy.
So
Nice.
I love that speech. At least you didn't sing it.
love it. So
It's a great
amazing. Highly recommend if you are a Disney fan, get that gold D23 membership. At least one per family. Definitely worth it. Don't show
And
people are not.
Obviously, you need the card. This card is actually going for about $100 on eBay right now.
Nice.
100.
So it is the only way you can get this card unless you want to pay $100. So might as well pay the $50
Yeah.
to actually get the D23 membership and get the card. I'm not sure why it's going for $100 when you can get it for less still, I believe. So yeah, very cool.
It'll probably go up in our case. I like it a lot.
Okay, so let's move on. As we are recording this, tomorrow does begin the Reign of Jafar.
The Reign of Jafar.
Releases May 30th.
Nope, you lost it. You lost it.
Releases June 6th.
Okay, great.
Okay, good try. A for effort.
A for...
I guess, on a scale where A is right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It starts with an E.
you've got the Reign of Jafar coming up. Lots of people have been building decks and testing things out. So if you are playing in any tournaments, there is one card I don't think we've actually talked about on the podcast. And this seems to be the card that people are going crazy about in this one. It is actually an uncommon card.
Is it a tiny child?
It has a tiny child on it. So I just wanted to bring this up because this is probably what you're going to see if you play any constructed. You will see this in both Steel Song. I'm just going to fast forward to it. Flip. You're going to see this card in Steel Song, and you're going to see it in Green Steel. It is Beyond the Horizon. A Steel Song, 7-cost, uninkable, sing together 7. You choose any number of players. They discard their hands and draw 3 cards. So you can choose just yourself. You can choose just your opponent. You can choose everybody to discard their hand and draw 3 cards. You can sing together 7. So this can be sung by Steel Song as early as turn 3. Mm-hmm. Right, with a Cinderella and Troubadour or Ursula Vanessa on board.
Yep.
Empty out your opponent's hand so they only have 3 cards left, and it's not the 3 cards that they mulligan for, right? Or you use it to refill your hand later in the game, or do it to both of you.
Because especially if you're playing blue, they could have like 14 cards in their hand.
Yeah.
Or purple even, like they have 14 cards in their hand. Now all of a sudden they have 3.
Yeah. Or if you are playing in Green Steel, right, you could sing this probably not till turn 4. Because if you get like a Shift Diablo on board, and you got the Ursula on board, and like a Prince John on board, you sing this, you can make them discard cards, and then you also get to draw for all the cards that they discard with Prince John. So you will definitely see this in play. This seems to be the big card, and it's an uncommon, so you will see it pretty quickly. So I just wanted to bring that up before we get too much into other stuff.
Now, question, Matt. So, do you think there's enough singers in this set for someone to want to pull this in a limited?
Maybe. So it's going to be really hard. So limited, right, is the set where you're just going to play with the cards that you get, either in draft or in sealed. You might want to play it. But you definitely won't want to have a whole bunch of copies in your deck.
Oh, no,
because that's just going to sit there if you don't. Because even if you do play it, right, you get to refill your hand, and you definitely want to see it much later. So don't want it in your opening hand. You want to see it much later. It is definitely something where it can give you some card advantage. So I wouldn't pass it up, but I wouldn't try to get multiples of them. There is a Ravensburger coupon within the D23 package that Jen is now showing to me, where you can get 25% off something from the Ravensburger store.
Online purchase of Ravensburger jigsaw puzzles and games. So
I don't know if they count Lorcana as a game.
But they count Villainous.
They do count Villainous.
But we need to get from
Which
Target.
there's a new Villainous
But we need
coming
to get
out.
it from Target.
I know we
That's
need to
true.
get it from Target.
And guess what one of the villains are? Well, Tamatoa hasn't always been this glad. He was a sad little crab once. Yes, Tamatoa. And see?
And Target has a special shiny Kamatoa, so you got to get that.
Because he's so shiny.
But we can use it on puzzles, and there's going to be Lorcana puzzles.
yes.
And the Lorcana puzzles are going to have special cards.
Yes.
So
It does specifically say not applicable for Disney Lorcana TCG.
Really? Well, then we'll cheat and we'll find a way to get Disney Lorcana TCG by buying the puzzles.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to be a puzzle family now, too.
Oh no.
We tried that.
We're the puzzle cast.
We'll at least have boxes of puzzles
We're the puzzle cast.
that we've opened, taken out the card, and then thrown to the side. Okay. So before we get too into talk on Limited, and Limited, for those that don't know, is a very popular pre-release. Sit down, buddy. It's a very popular pre-release set where basically there's 3 different ways of playing Limited. One where you'll get 2 starter decks, or you'll get a starter deck and you'll play against other people that have starter decks. Another where it's a draft where you sit around in a circle, everyone opens a pack, you take one card from your pack and pass that pack to the left. You build a deck out of that, 40 cards. And then sealed where you get 6 packs of cards and you build a deck of 40 out of those. You usually don't have any ink restrictions on any of that. And then after you've built your deck of 40 cards, you go and play against each other. And we're going to go over some of the cards you want to kind of be looking for when it comes to limited. We're going to get to that. But first, before we get to that, there's been a lot of news.
Lots of news.
Because we've missed the past couple of weeks. The first bit of news is about Worlds.
Yes.
They did announce the format for Worlds, how they will be playing most of the format. It was a little... No. It's not a draft. So there's going to be 2 different types. So 2 different formats. The first is super sealed. So for at least the first 3 rounds, I believe, that the 28 players will be playing at Worlds. The first format is going to be super sealed. They're going to get 4 packs of Shimmering Skies, 4 packs of Azurite Sea, 4 packs of Arcasia's Island, and 4 packs of Reign of Jafar. So basically 4 packs of each of the last 4 sets, so 16 packs altogether. They're going to have 60 minutes to construct a 3 ink color deck with 50 cards. All right, so different than regular sealed, you only get 3 color, you only get to use 3 inks, and you have to have 50 cards instead of 40. Players are allowed to change cards in their deck between games in the match, as long as they're within the initially submitted ink colors. These cards are referred to as players' sideboard. So basically they have a sideboard that they can use, but they have to revert back their deck back to the initially submitted one in between games. So in between matches, right? So your games in your match, you can switch them after the first game, but then you have to go back to your original settings.
Oh, so like game 1 has to be in the one that you decided on.
Yes.
And then game 2 or game 3 potentially you could switch
stuff
out.
in. Right, so you're going to get 16 packs, so like 190 something cards altogether. You have to build 50 card decks using only 3 ink. It's a way to bring a limited format to a major event. It's going to really test their deck building skills and their knowledge of what cards are in those sets. So that's going to be for at least the first
Bless you.
3 rounds of the tournament. What do you guys think of this?
I like the format. I don't like that they're using limited for Worlds. I would be okay if they did it like at a normal DLC or something, but like this is like the World Championship, and like it's relying on luck.
Personally, though, that's why I like it. Because yes, it's relying on luck, but it's also like I feel like if you're a really good player, like you can make a good deck out of whatever card you get. Mm-hmm. Like, because I mean, for example, like, I would say that Matt is a very good player. And he's also very good at building decks. And I think that that's a really important part of being a good player. And he often does very well at limiteds. And so, I feel like if you're a good player, you're going to do well at limiteds. And it's not just about luck, because it's about knowing how to play the cards, knowing strategy. But part of the strategy is knowing what cards to take and not take. And I actually... I know it's different and it's weird, but I do think if we're talking about getting the best Lorcana player out there, I think that this should be a part of it.
I definitely think limited should be a part of it. I think it does show a skill in Lorcana that the best player in the world should have. Mm-hmm. My only issue with it would be, I have 2 things. One, I'm not crazy that they're basically trying out a new format at the World Championship, right?
Sure.
That has not been played in any competitive level at all.
Yes.
Right? It's also incredibly hard for players to practice because you're talking about opening 16 packs.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot.
And not only just 16 packs, but 16 specific packs.
Yeah.
And finding packs of all of those sets out in stores is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, like if you bought a box of each, you can do this 4 times. Mm-hmm. Then you have to buy another box of each, and that's up to almost $600 like after taxes probably, right? And that's if you get them at cost. If you get them at regular price, you can probably get them a little cheaper. There have been some computer simulations that people have mocked up to try practicing it some. I also am not a huge fan of the fact that it's also prohibitive for people like the not best in the world to go out and play. It is difficult for them to. It would be very expensive for all of us to go and do it, right?
Oh, if they did this like at an event.
Right.
Yes.
There actually is one store that is going to do this as part of their pre-release events.
Oh, really?
But it's like hard for me to say, okay, I want to go because the day it is, I'd have to like bring one of the kids with me, and that's also paying for them to do it, right? And they're charging a pretty reasonable rate. They're charging $65 for it, which is pretty good. But I don't know if I would want to bring one of the kids to this really complicated event, like using only 3 inks from 16 packs, 50 card deck, like building that on their own would be pretty difficult. Even I think that would be a pretty difficult thing to do to build a competitive thing. I would love to do it, but it's also going to be expensive.
How many cards do you get?
It's 190 something.
I'll check.
It'd be 12 times 16, right?
You can't do it in a head.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
It's just 12 times 12 and then 12 times 4, and then you add them together.
192. So 190 something was accurate. So it'll be interesting. I'm not sure. It's also going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, that's my wonder too. Is are they going to have cameras on people building their decks? Because I want to see that.
Yes, I'd be very interested in seeing that. Seeing like an hour feels like a lot of time, but to open 16 packs, sort those cards, and then figure out which 3 ink you want, and then build from there. That's not a ton of time.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the normal amount of time usually you get 50 minutes for a regular sealed, and that's half as many.
Yeah.
So, and
it's a third as many almost, right?
yeah. Oh.
Because 16 packs normally you get 6.
Oh, right. No, yeah,
it's
you're
like
right.
2.5 times.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's a lot to do. I'd be really interested in trying it though, if I was able to find some time to sort it all out. But it's going to be hard for stores to want to put this because not a whole lot of people are going to sign up because it's expensive. And really right now, you kind of only want the Reign of Jafar stuff most likely. You don't really want the other cards. So, it'll be difficult to justify actually doing this. So that's my only other issue with it. But that's only going to be the first 3 rounds. All right. And from what I understand, they're going to play basically until 8 players have won 5 rounds. Once you've run 5 rounds, you've basically made it to the second day. Okay. So the first 3 rounds are going to be this. But then after that, it's going to be another new format called Triple Deck Constructed.
I don't like the sound of that.
So basically, each player is going to have to bring 3...
This is actually really fun. I think this is cool.
Yeah, this is cool. Players are going to create 3 constructed decks with all 6 inks represented.
Oh.
So you have to have 3 decks, 2 inks per deck, but you have to use all 6 inks. So if you used Ember Steel and Ruby Sapphire, your other one has to be Emerald Amethyst. Right? So you have to have all 6 inks representative. Matches are going to be best of 3, except for the grand final, which is going to be best of 5. All right? So players will review the deck lists before they play each other, and then each player will get to ban one of the 3 decks from their opponent's choices.
So
right?
kind of like Pokemon cards. No.
I'm not sure. I don't know about it, but they're going to bench one of the decks. So then you have 2 decks left. Then you pick which of those decks you want to play in your first game. You both reveal to each other the deck that you've picked. They're going to have these like ink tokens to show I'm playing this deck, and the other person go I'm playing this deck, and they're going to show it simultaneously, right? They're going to play the first game. Whoever wins the first game, right? Your next game that you play, you have to use the other deck. So you have to win 2 games with both decks.
I like this.
All right. The other player can use whichever deck they want until they win, and then they have to use the other deck. Right. That's how it's going to work for all the rounds, except for the grand finals, where you will have to win with each one of your decks. There won't be any benching of it. It'll be best of 5, so you'll have to win 3 games, which means you have to win with every one of your decks. What do we think of this?
I like this. I like it.
This is pretty cool.
Chances are you already have these 3 decks built in your head, don't you?
I mean, I'm sure they all do.
I'm asking about you personally.
So, yeah, I mean, at first it was like, I would do exactly what I said.
Yes.
I do Steel Song, I do Ruby Sapphire,
Ruby
and I do Emerald Amethyst. I know all 3 of those decks. I've played with all 3 of those decks.
Yep. You've played against all 3 of those decks.
However, seeing what other people are talking about, talking with other people, and listening to like real great players talk about this, you can think about it in a different way. If you can always ban a deck, you could build decks that only have 1 bad matchup, and just whenever you see that deck, just always ban that deck.
Sure.
Right? So Blurple has 1 bad matchup, Steel Song.
Right.
So build a Blurple deck and always ban Steel Song.
Yeah.
Right?
You just always play Blurple.
Figure out whatever other deck has a really bad match against Steel Song. Build those decks, decks that are bad against Steel Song, and just always ban Steel Song.
Yeah.
And then you'll be pretty safe until you get to the finals.
Yeah.
Right? So there are other ways you could build it. It's a different type of format. This would be pretty cool. This is also a little prohibitive to a more casual player. Like casual players that only build 1 deck and they just stick with that.
And
wouldn't necessarily have the cards to build 3 decks.
Collectors that have like multiple play sets of every card, like some people I know.
Yeah. So it can be expensive for some people, but odds are if you are a competitive player, you're going to jump in line for this if someone were to offer it.
100%. Well, because it's not expensive too. Like if you already have the cards, you already have a play set of everything. You can build this easy. That is my water. Do not drink my water. You should have got your own water. Nope, too late. So like I feel like this would be super fun.
Yes.
I like, even though I haven't played other decks too much, other than like at home, like competitively, I haven't played other decks too much. I would still want to do this. This sounds super fun.
Yeah, if there's a store that sets this up, I will for sure be signing up.
Now building 12 decks.
If I have to do it for all of us, that is going to be hard. Like our local store, our favorite local store is doing
best store ever.
Is doing theme nights all summer.
Yes.
Tonight, and we can't make it. They're doing like double feature where your deck can only have 2 different franchises in it. Still have to have 2 inks. I was like, oh, that's exciting. But
we're going to midnight release, so
yeah.
we can't quite make it.
Let's just say on the podcast what we would choose. Dad, what would you choose?
So I built a deck. I picked Sword in the Stone and Frozen.
Makes sense.
A Blurple deck.
A Blurple deck,
I
yes.
built Wreck-It Ralph and Lion King.
That could probably.
And it was a red.
I was
red
thinking
amber. Is that
red? I was thinking
Ruby amber.
Maybe a No, not that. What was it again? I forget. Going to Mom.
I was thinking of doing Little Mermaid and I think it was Cinderella, or was it? Yeah, because then I could, and it was going to be Amber Amethyst or Amber Emerald.
I know what you can do. I remember mine.
Like
I think Amber Emerald you could probably do.
Ralph breaks the internet. You could have all the princesses.
Ralph breaks the internet and it's all the princesses.
Nice. But anyways, they're doing that.
Wait, I remember mine.
Oh God, yes.
It was Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse.
Oh, that's right. I also talked about doing Snow White and Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Well, Mickey Mouse and
Amber Steel still.
Amber Steel still. It would be kind of like a mixture of Diggy Diggy Hole and Steel Song.
Yeah.
What Mickey Mouse cards would you use? I don't know. I just felt like it.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
All right. Not a card. No. Anyways, they're doing that theme thing this whole summer, and I know we're going to want to go to 1 or 2 of them at least, right?
100%, yeah.
That means we have to build like 4 new decks every 2 weeks. And even that is like, oh man. But it's okay because this is like a weird we're in a weird part of the format, right?
Yes.
There are no big, huge events
Nope.
to plan for.
Boo-hoo.
The decks that we're definitely using right now, with the exception of maybe Malcolm's, won't be usable after these 3 months. Will have to look very different.
Tears.
Depending on what gets reprinted, and definitely not all the cards in our decks are going to get reprinted.
Nope.
But there are so many staples from those first 4 sets, and the ones they've shown not so far that are getting reprinted aren't in any of those decks.
Pretty please, we print Pirate Pig Wet.
Rapunzel.
Please.
So who knows what it's going to look like. So it's hard to want to practice too much with the decks that we've got because they're going to be completely different. So it'll be an interesting summer for Lorcana. We'll see what happens. But anyways, so building extra 4 decks for us already seems daunting. So we're having to build like 12 decks for each of us using all the different colors. Yikes. I'm not sure we have enough cards for that. I mean, we could, but they're going to suck, right? Like some of them are just going to be awful, but we could.
This is my Ruby Emerald Aggro deck.
You're joking, but that's probably what I make you. Anyways, so that's what World is going to be. Those first 3 are going to be from the Super Sealed. Then after that, it'll switch over to this. Once you hit 5 match wins, you make to second day. That's what I think. That's what I've heard and what I've understood at least. They haven't fully put that out there. If we want to know who to thank for some of this, I've mentioned before on the podcast Brian DeCandio, who was a real big proponent of Steel Song, really great player, won a lot of the tournaments that were down in Florida. He basically, his first day, they were like, we need formats for Worlds, I guess. And they were like, okay. And he was like, okay. And this is what he helped them come up with. So he works for Ravensburger now. He used to be a content creator and he's moved on to this.
Nice.
But that was the Lorecast from 2 weeks ago. They had another one today because they're weekly. So it's a little bit harder to keep up with the news because now it just keeps coming every week.
That's good for us.
So this week they featured some stuff from Beyond the Horizon. Nope, because we already talked about that card. It's from Fabled. That needs some work.
Wait, is that Steamboat Willie?
Yes, it is. So Fabled pre-releases August 29th, 2025, and everywhere September 5th, 2025. We got a look at the Trove, which will feature the iconic Mickey Mouse and what we all assume is going to be the iconic Minnie Mouse. Since they said there would be 2, and those 2 have connecting art. If it's not Minnie Mouse, people are going to be like, what?
Imagine if it's Donald.
On the cover of the packs, we've got Cruella de Vil, we've got Steamboat Willie, and we've got Goofy and Max from the Goofy movie.
And Powerline.
And in the starter decks, we can see Powerline and Max on a red-green deck. So Max looks like he's in green. Powerline is in red.
Ruby Emerald Aggro deck.
Actually, it might be a Ruby Emerald song deck because Powerline, though in Ruby, is a singer. He appears to be a 6-cost inkable singer 9.
Wow.
That shifts for like 4.
Wow.
You can sing Beyond the Horizon. Beyond the Horizon.
Well, not in this specific deck because it's Ruby and Emerald. Sure. We'll see what songs it comes with. But that means that Ruby is going to be the first color to have singers outside of Amber, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I believe, is a Amber Sapphire deck. And it looks like it's a Princess deck because we've got a new Mulan. And then the reprinted Singer Ariel that was a Singer 7. So not the good Ariel, it's the Ariel that no one played with.
Yeah.
So she's back. So again, while we know we're getting reprints, once again, it's a reprint of a card that no one plays. In fact, no one has ever played.
Move over, sorry, the cat was taking the pins out of my pincushion.
So
come here, Daisy.
So it'll still be interesting to see like what cards they think they need to reprint, because this would be the 6th card I think we've seen that does not see regular play right now. The only card I think they've shown that sees regular play, you might say the Maleficent, though that barely sees play really right now, and the Tinkerbell sees some play,
I mean,
but not
Stitch
a ton.
A little bit.
Stitch is probably the least of all 3 of those. So it's like they're printing some of these cards on the fringe that saw a lot of play at the beginning, like in set 1, but don't see much play now. So
I took this away from the cats, not for you guys to start taking the pins out of the pincushion.
He did it first.
we also saw a few other things. So we got
Child!
to look at a Stitch Enchanted, just the art part up here.
Cute.
It's a 3-cost inkable something. They hid all the details about it. This might be the reprint from, maybe there was a Stitch in a spacesuit from first.
Lilo.
I'm sorry, Lilo in a spacesuit from the first chapter. Maybe it's a reprint of that, but so we did get to just see
It's
this.
pretty enchanted though, it looks like.
Yes, it does look like they continue with the theme of good enchanted, so that is good. Then we also got to see an Elsa gift box, which notably comes out after like a month later, in October 3rd.
Interesting.
So the Elsa gift box, right? It's got the amethyst colors on it. This is a reprint of the Elsa 5th Spirit card.
Wait, just
The 5 that can exert something, rush in, and kill it. They're shaking their heads because they've lost many a character to it.
That card.
But look at the art.
It's
it's new
beautiful.
art.
Wait, is that the Elsa that I think it is?
Yes,
The
it's
one
the good
that
just
Elsa.
said.
That's what he just said.
The evasive lush one?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what he just said. I hate
That
you.
exerts the character and then rushes into it.
I hate you, Lavensburger. Why did you have to leave with the card that everybody hates except for Blopple players? Pirate Piglet.
It's in like every Amethyst deck.
Yes.
So this is finally, it's like we're getting cards, promos, and reprinted art cards of cards that actually see play. Right? We had Lilo with this. Now we've had Elsa with this. So we're seeing cards that are like actually playable, getting these alternate arts, which is great.
The Lilo in the spacesuit wasn't playable.
No, but that's an enchanted thing, right?
That's
So
Who knows?
usually enchanteds aren't playable.
No,
Wait, why would they reprint this?
because it's a good card.
It's because it just came out a couple sets ago, so it's not a reprint. It's just an alternate art, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to buy this gift box to get it, and it comes with 5 packs, like randomized, hopefully from set 5 and above, not just a bunch of Inkland packs.
I swear to God, if they did that.
And then we're getting new mats and new deck boxes. So we got Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo mat. We've got Mufasa, the enchanted version of that card mat, the one that when you play it, you get 2 cards back from your inkwell, and then when you quest, you readies the inkwell. And then the new Mulan gets a deck box and card sleeves, and Max and Goofy and Powerline get deck box and card sleeves as well.
So that card's probably eye to eye, right?
That is most likely eye to eye. Yes. Looks like it's going to be a Ruby card. Who knows what it will do.
Right, enough.
I'm glad I get a quiet, haunting version of eye to eye in the background, lulling me to sleep.
I know what it does. You search your deck for a Pirate Piglet. If you find 7 of them, play all 7 of them.
7 Pirate Piglets, but you can only have 4. So that is the news from this time around. Now we're going to go into some talk about Limited. So,
It's a duck!
we briefly have talked about Limited already this episode. This weekend is going to be full of Limited events. We are going to a starter deck. Me and Jen are going to a starter deck tournament later tonight. There is a draft that me and Emmett are going to go to on Friday night. And then
Me and Malcolm are at rehearsal again.
then there's a sealed event on Sunday
That we're all going to.
that we'll
Yes.
all go
At our
to.
favorite store.
Except Daisy.
Sorry, Daisy.
Sorry, Daisy.
So lots of events. I'm sure if you check around near you, you can find events as well. We've got events running from tonight all the way through next Wednesday.
Do?
No, there are events around us.
Oh.
I think except for Tuesday. Like Tuesday's the only day in the next week where there's not an event.
No, of course.
When you said we, I thought you meant like we. I'm like, Malcolm and I got plans.
I mean, there's events around us that I could conceivably go to every day except for Tuesday.
Tuesday. Why?
Then just nobody planned them for Tuesday. I
There's
think
no
is
one
what
plans
you
them for Tuesday. Like most people only plan them during the weekend, but one person's doing something on Monday because they normally play Lorcana on Monday. So he's like, well, we'll just do this on Monday instead. And then another person, another store only does stuff on Wednesday and refuses to do stuff on Saturdays and Sundays. I think there's also a large Pokemon release this weekend, isn't there? Mm-hmm. And like next weekend,
Right.
Next weekend, there's a large Magic the Gathering release because it's like a Final Fantasy cross Magic the Gathering thing. Like they're not even having Lorcana at our store next weekend because of that release, so we don't miss the first week of leagues.
I mean, the Pokemon release is gigantic. They'll finally be releasing Team Rocket Pokemon.
I see.
Even though we may or may not have gotten our hands on packs that we weren't probably supposed to.
Yep. Welcome to QuestLore, your illegal Pokemon podcast. Anyways. During those events, so during draft and during seals, you're going to get a chance to play with some of these cards that you probably will never play with again. You will get to play with them here and then not play with them again. You'll just go back into your binder if you're collecting them, or you'll give them to someone else because you don't care about them. So there might be a lot of cards that you're not sure, hey, what should I pick? Because in a draft, you have to make a decision quickly, and in sealed, you have a whole bunch of cards. Now, being the first weekend, a lot of times people will choose for their collection, and that's completely fine. Grab those cards for your collection. Completely understandable. If you see those legendaries, you want to grab them. Obviously, if you see an enchanted, you're going to want to grab that. Maybe even the super rares. But you do have to pick cards for a playable deck. What we usually like to do at this time of set release is go through a lot of commons and uncommons that you're going to see, because you're probably going to see mostly uncommons and commons, whether you're doing a draft or doing sealed. That is going to be 75 to 80% of the cards you're going to get to see. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've picked out cards that I would pick, maybe not as my first pick, because the rares, the legendaries, the super rares will be there, and those are usually much better cards. But I wouldn't be upset picking these second or third in a draft, or I would make sure to include them if I was opening up a bunch of packs for sealed. So good chance you're going to see these cards, so let's go over them. The first one is Huey, Reliable Leader. He is an Amber, uninkable 2-cost, Strength of 2, Willpower of 3, Quest for 1, Special Ability, I Know the Way.
Know the way.
Different movie. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 ink less for the next character you play this turn.
So kind of like a cheaper doc, but he has less lore.
Yes, like a cheaper doc, like a lantern. He has that ability so you can get out one of your 4-cost bigger characters out while your opponent is still just getting his 3-cost ones out.
And having the 3 defense, is good, because then it'll be a little bit harder to get rid of early on.
On the play, there's a good chance you're going to get this off twice. On the draw, probably only once, but definitely on the play, there's a good chance you can get this off twice, meaning you can get your 4 and your 5 drop out when they're playing their 3 and their 4. So it's not bad.
See, Huey doing Louie. But it has to be Arcasia.
Sure, yes. Arcasia is Huey, Dewey, and Louie in a giant trench coat. This card does not support that theory at all. He's worried about magical snakes.
Okay. Yeah. Forget the magical snake. There's a way out of that.
One thing I should note, and I should warn these guys as well. They're with these cards, with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and then there's 2 alligator cards. Their arts connect. So what they've done this time around is the foil versions of these cards are missing the border, so that you can actually connect the arts on the card.
That's awesome.
But it's only the foil version of these cards.
So that means we have to get the foil of these cards.
Probably.
They're uncommon. She'll be fine.
Yeah. So if you see ones without the borders, they're supposed to be that way. It's not a misprint if they're foil. If they're not foil and you see them without the borders, that's probably a misprint, and you probably want to keep it because it's probably worth something. So anyways, Huey is the first one. Our next one is Darling, Dear, Beloved Wife.
Oh my gosh, it's
Lady.
Pup. Lady. That's Lorcana reference.
It's a Lorcana card, man.
Wow.
Anyways, she's a 5-cost inkable amber card, 4 strength, 4 willpower, quest for 1, special ability, how sweet. When you play this character, chosen character gets +2 lore this turn.
Nice.
Not only is she a beefy lady with a big old butt, 4 isn't huge, but
it's good enough.
It's moderate size for a lady of her time, right?
Yes.
You're also giving +2 lore to another character.
Yep.
That gets you closer
That's
to 20.
instant lore.
Yes.
As long as you have somebody on the board.
Yep. So just a little bit of reach to get to the end, right?
Yeah. But and this is something too, that I know we've talked about in the past about being a patient player. like definitely if you're going to play this card, make sure that the turn before maybe, make sure to have, don't play this if you don't have a character out. Or make sure you have a character, make sure you have a character maybe that you don't quest the turn before.
Yeah.
So that way you can get this extra lore.
Yep, for sure. All right, up next, Pua.
Hey,
Pua!
Protective
So
Pig. It's a 3-cost inkable amber amethyst card. 2 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1. He's a bodyguard. And special ability, free fruit. When this character is banished, you may draw a card.
Nice.
So not only is he going to protect maybe some of your higher questers. I mean, he's not huge at 2/2. But he's going to protect some of your higher questers. And then he's going to refill your hand with another card when he does go away.
I love he's a bodyguard to the food.
I know.
Yes. So a pretty decent card. Definitely want to grab that one. And you got Ka. He's a 4-cost uninkable amber emerald, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 2. And then whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character gets -2 strength and gains reckless until the start of their next turn.
Nice.
They can't quest a bus challenge if they
I can see them replacing Bellwether.
So this is a perfect example of a card that is playable in limited, but probably not in constructed, because usually if you give a character reckless, they're like, okay, fine, I'll just sing a song instead. Usually there aren't a lot of songs being played in limited formats, so that's not a possibility for them, so they may still have to come and run into one of your characters, and they can't really do anything about it because they're -2 strength. So good chance they won't be able to take out your characters either. If you play this at the right time, you can get rid of one of their characters without having to hurt yours. Plus, questing for 2 is a pretty big threat. Then we got Candy Drift. It's an action. It's an amber ruby action card, 2-cost inkable. First, draw a card. Then, chosen character of yours gets +5 strength this turn. At the end of your turn, banish them. So if you give one of your little weenie ones that would have died anyways running into something, +5 strength, most likely takes out anything in the game. Sure, you lose your card, but you're probably taking out one of their big guys with your little guy.
That's nice.
And then drawing a card. All for 2 ink. That's pretty good.
Half of the mutton fudge.
Look, Malcolm, this can fit in your Ruby Amber deck.
Half of the mutton fudge.
Yes.
Mutton fudge.
Palace Guard Spectral Sentry. It's an amethyst, 1-cost inkable, 1 strength, 4 willpower. It does have vanish because it's an illusion, and a quest for 1. Now, in limited, usually people aren't taking a lot of actions. That will probably stay true, even though there are a few illusions that people could play. Odds are they're not going to use that action to get rid of one of your illusions on your 1-drop. And this thing has a big old butt on it, so it's going to last
for sure.
quite a while.
Yeah.
And if you get it late, you can always just ink it. So it's not bad. We've got Ryder, Fleet-Footed Infiltrator. I think we were talking about why doesn't this guy have a card a couple of weeks ago.
We were.
Is this the guy from Frozen?
Yeah, it's the
2?
other guy with the reindeer from Frozen 2.
Yeah.
He's a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower. He's evasive, quest for 1. He's going to take out most of the other evasives that get played and live to tell about it. So you're going to want to have answers to evasives.
Yes.
There are quite a few evasives in the set, so you're going to want to make sure you either have evasives or there are a couple of cards that can give your characters evasive.
Yeah.
So you make sure you have answers to evasive and limited. Otherwise, you will lose.
Yes,
a
for
bunch.
sure.
Then we got Magicka Dispel in shadow form. It's an amethyst emerald, 5-cost uninkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower. She's evasive. Quest for 2. When you play this character, you may return chosen character of yours to your hand to draw a card. This ability, I think, was on the Cuzco Whale. Last time you could do some shenanigans where you were returning a character to your hand to draw a card. I won like 3 or 4 games off that ability. This is almost the same thing, except it's on play. And you're playing an evasive character, so
And a quest for 2.
And a quest for 2. You can bounce one of those characters that have like a replay, an ability that you get when you play them. So, or even just protect a high quester that you can then play again.
Or somebody like even
Or
just...
you could bounce this.
No, you can't bounce itself. Or, because it says return another chosen character.
Yep.
Or you can use somebody to attack into, and if it still lives, you can then return it to your hand to get rid of the damage on it.
And again, it being evasive, 3/3, questing for 2, that's a big threat that they will need to try to find a way to take out if they don't have one of their evasives. So definitely want to grab this one.
Yeah, I like it.
Louis!
Lewis. No, it is Lewis.
Lewis, Enduring Alligator, a 3-cost inkable, 4 strength, 3 willpower. Quest for 1. Special abilities are Sensitive Soul. This character enters play exertive. And Friendlier Than He Looks. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. We talked about the ability to give Reckless. Here, if you're not only playing a character exerted, he's got a big attack and a big, not a huge willpower, but he attacks for 4. So most things are going to die when it runs into him. So they have to challenge into him. When you put up there, he just wants to give him a big old hug. Right? That's all he's trying to do.
And then he accidentally bites him. Then he accidentally bites him.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he was an alligator.
Yep.
But this is good too, because then if the other side does have something that is questing for 2 or 3, now they can't quest that 2 or 3.
That's right. And they have to go into him, and he's probably just going to eat him.
Yep.
Right? All right. Up next, Light the Fuse. It's a 1-cost uninkable ruby steel card. Deal 1 damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. So essentially, Strength of a Raging Fire with an exception to it. Right?
Yeah.
You have to have the characters exerted, but you quest with all your characters and then shoot their big character. Right?
Or use it on an illusion.
Sure. It's definitely something that you'll want to grab. It is probably the best cost for removal in the set.
So it's kind of like a cheaper, what's it called? Strength.
We just said that.
Strength of
Yes,
the
except for it's not a song. It's an action.
Right. And your character has to be exerted, not just out.
Yes.
Then we got Bernard, Overprepared. It's a Sapphire Steel, 2-cost uninkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1. Special ability, go down there and investigate. When you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you may draw a card. There's about 60-some allies in this set. There's a good chance you're going to have an ally. So, at the very least, you get a character on board on 2. It's not incredibly terrible. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible. And you get to draw a card.
Yeah.
So,
and card draw.
Good.
Card draw is very important.
Yes.
In limiteds.
Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist. He was awesome in set 1. He is still awesome here, especially in limited. It's a steel card, 1-cost inkable, 1 strength, 2 willpower, Challenger 2, quest for 1. Was great back when he first came out. He's still great now.
Yeah.
Quick Shot. It's a 2-cost uninkable action in steel. Deal 1 damage to chosen character, draw a card.
Ooh, this is good.
There are quite a few cards in the set, especially evasives, that have only 1 willpower. So there are cards that you will kill with this.
And illusions.
Yeah.
And you can take out illusions, and then you draw a card, so definitely grab these as you can. There is 1 card, I forgot, that I wanted to bring up. I'm not going to be able to get to it. Anyways, it's Monterey Jack. I believe he's a 4/5, 5-cost steel card that has Bodyguard. He also quests for 2. So a 4/5 Bodyguard, I believe he costs 5. Quest for 2, that's a great card to have.
Yeah, nice.
I believe he's a common or uncommon, I don't remember. So you want to grab that too.
Nice.
Those are cards I would pick if I had my choices between commons and uncommons. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get. Just try to remember you need evasives. You need answers to evasives.
Well, hold on. Why don't we do our Genie acronym? You forgot all about it.
That's right, I did. How could I?
We haven't talked about that in the last few sets.
That's true. So we did come up with an acronym, Genie, G-E-N-I-E. G stands for
Great cards.
Great cards.
Just great cards.
Are also known as bombs in other sets. When you're thinking of a great, amazing card, one of those that would be like if you go back to Tinkerbell from the first set. The Floodborn Tinkerbell, play it, does a damage to everything. Then when you're attacking other things, does another 2 damage to something else. Those are great cards.
Rapunzel.
You wanna get 'em. Rapunzel, right. Any card that's going to do a lot of stuff. I would say in this set,
Quick Shot.
I'm not completely sure what the biggest bomb would be. Basically, it's a card that's going to like win you the game. Possibly like the 6-cost Mushu that you can shift.
If you can find,
because then it turns all your cards when you play them into Rush, Reckless, and Evasive, so that you can instantly take out whatever they play. I should note there's only 1 card in this set that has Rush naturally, and that's Monstro. He's an 8-cost inkable.
Let's go, Monstro.
Then you can discard to ready him. So it's going to take a lot to get Monstro in play because 8 ink is a lot and really late in the game.
Yeah.
You've had to ink a lot of cards. odds are your opponent is in a really good position.
But if you played the card that lets you play it for 2 less ink on your next turn.
That was 1 less ink.
Oh, it was only 1 less ink?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2.
7.
So it's going to take a lot to get him out. So you don't have to worry about rush too much. There's the Mushu that you can exert him to give a character rush, but you obviously know that can happen because they already have to have the Mushu in play.
Right.
And then you have this other Mushu that costs 6 and shifts that can give any character rush. But again, you'll know that can happen to you because it will be in play.
Right.
So your only surprise rush can be Monstro. And
That's really expensive.
odds are you should be in a good position if they've been able to ink. You're either in a good position because they've been inking all their cards to get to Monstro, or you're already in a terrible position if they can play and have had that many cards to ink.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about rushing this set. The next one is evasives. E for evasives. We've talked about it many times already while we've been going over these cards. You want to have evasives, basically because
Wait, no, E isn't for evasives.
Yeah, it is.
No, N is for evasives because it's no touchy.
that's ward.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Each for evasives.
Okay, sorry.
Or was it?
No.
Each for
We
evasives.
did miss one. Eradicators.
Yeah, so this is why we need to bring the slide back up.
I can't find the slide right now. I'm sorry. So yes, E is for eradicators.
Yes.
Removals. Something like Quick Shot, which
Yes.
can remove a card.
Yes.
There's also a Ruby Sapphire card that banishes a character and lets you draw a card that costs 6. It's uninkable. That's a little bit expensive, but it is removal and can remove one of their big characters really easy.
And my personal favorite. 3, 2, 1. Let's all say it. 3, 2, 1.
No touchy.
No touchy.
Oh,
So
no touchy.
that's evasives and ward.
Yes.
Because you can't touch evasives without other evasives and then ward characters. I would have to go through the cards. I don't know if there are any ward characters in this.
I don't remember.
In this set, but there are definitely quite a few evasives. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you have your own evasives or answers to evasives.
Yes.
There are a few that give you evasive on your that have evasive on your turn. There's a card called Twitter Patter that you can use to give a character evasive until the start of your next turn. So you want to make sure you have answers to evasives.
Yes. So again, E was eradicators, and no touchy means evasive and ward.
Yes.
And then I don't remember what I is.
Yes.
No.
He's
It's-
asking the children.
okay.
Ice cream.
Not ice
Not
cream.
ice cream. I guess if it is ice cream at your draft, you've already won.
You have already won.
I would be inkables.
Inkables.
So things that you can ink, because that's the next thing you need. You need cards that are inkable, and then E is
Everything else.
Like-
So all of these cards like that we just showed you, all of these, because you need to make sure you have 1 drops, you have 2 drops, you have 3 drops, you have 4 drops, you have 5 drops.
6 drops.
No, you don't need 6 drops.
Yeah.
You can win limiteds with no 6 drops or above.
Yes. And remember, you
done
only
it
have
before.
40 cards in your deck in limited, so you don't need to have as many of those really big cards, like the same count of cards that you have in 60. One thing for sure is when it comes to 1-drops, 1-drops are not really important in limited. I usually only put 3 or 4 of those in my deck at most.
And that's why he's a better player than me, because I put lots of 1-drops.
You don't need very many 1-drops because they become useless after the first turn. They become inkables, right? You want to be playing other stuff, playing on curve, making sure that you get up there, that you're playing threats to the board. So don't think that you need, I need 6 to 8 1-drops so I can make sure I hit a 1-drop on turn 1. You don't hit a 1-drop on turn 1, you're fine. Just play it to your curve. Make sure you at least have a 2-drop, your 3-drop, and everything like that. Don't freak out about not having a 1-drop. It's going to be okay, I promise you.
No.
So that is our limited talk for this set. Go out there, play, have a good time. Limited is one of the best ways to basically open up packs and have some fun with them. Play with some of these cards that, again, honestly, you may never play with again. Because maybe you're only a 2-color deck person, or maybe the cards end up never being good in regular constructed.
Quick shot.
Quick Shot might end up being good. I don't
Deal
know.
1 damage.
Yeah.
Illusions.
I mean, it'll kill.
There's a couple of evasives that only had 1.
Yeah, like Sir Hiss, Pegasus.
And you call me.
He wants to kill Pegasus.
I
Baby Raiden.
think there's a Vanellope that's like a 3-1 evasive. So this will kill Vanellope,
Oh
right?
no, my Penelope.
Stitch is just going to walk straight up to him and just shoot him right in the face. That's what Stitch does. That's what half the new movie is. Just Stitch walking up to people and shooting them right in the face. That's why we're not going to see it. It's too violent. Okay. It's the end of the year. Of course, our kids are sick.
It's allergies.
I didn't do anything.
That's
We
allergy
all
season.
have allergies.
Anyways, let's wrap up the episode with, well, we always do, it's trivia time.
It's trivia time. Oh yeah. Okay, Kool-Aid man.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. In A Bug's Life,
7.
what type of insect is Manny?
Manny, he's a praying mantis.
Correct. Good work,
Good job,
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
What do the fairies use pixie dust for in Tinkerbell and the Lost
Fly.
Treasure?
Oh, wait.
Fly.
Hold
I guess to fly.
That is correct.
Yeah.
on.
How many eyes does Henry J. Waternoose have in Monsters, Inc.?
18. No, 16.
12.
You guys are way, way too high.
3.
8.
No.
3.
8.
Now one's
5.
high and one's low. Yes, it's 5. There you go.
I knew
We
it was
got
an
there.
odd number.
Who are the twins in Alice in Wonderland?
Emmett. Can you just answer?
Tweedle red and Tweedle blue. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
There you go. That's how you get them to answer. Just say the wrong ones.
That was one of my lines. Okay?
And of course, who plays Troy Bolton in the High School Musical franchise?
Efron. Together. No, okay, that's the wrong song. We're breaking free.
Soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't bet on it,
Alright, that's
bet on it, bet on it.
Okay. Anyway, yes,
Okay,
Zac Efron.
let's get our head back in the game.
Ah, nice.
Close out this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this extra long episode. We might be missing the next couple of weeks.
Because next weekend is Malcolm's out opening night for Into the Woods.
And the end of school.
And their last day of
is
school.
coming to an
Oh, we might be
end.
able to if they have a half day. I could probably be home early. We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe next week, but for sure not the week after that, as we'll be on vacation.
Yes.
So when we come back, we'll talk about the big meta decks that have been popping off in the Reign of Jafar. Talk about any other news that comes out after that. They did talk about today, they'll have news coming out about how to get that whole new world promo. They've realized, and this is where I still don't understand how Ravensburger doesn't understand that the game is popular. It's like they have imposter syndrome about their game. I feel like I'm an expert on it because I do, right? So I feel like they have imposter syndrome about this game because they're like, so we didn't realize that a lot of people would want this whole new world promo.
It's only in the linchpin on the most popular meta deck right now.
And it's like a beautiful alternate art card.
Yes, it's so amazing.
It's been popular for the entire 2 years. It's
yes.
like one of the
From,
few.
like set 1.
Yeah, it's one of the very few cards from set 1 that have been popular this
Like
entire
it's
time.
never not
Like
been in
Lilo.
play.
Yeah.
No.
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 Nice try, Malcolm.
Like I don't think there's ever been a time where Steel Song was not actively in the meta.
The only time I would say it has been would be like when it was Blue Steel and Red Blue.
I still play
The
it.
Hiram, that month of this set where it was like Hiram everything, right? Before Hiram got banned. That was the only time where it wasn't like topping all the time.
Sure.
Now it's back again, and it's one of these most popular cards. It was a card that everybody had looking forward to get at Worlds. And anyways, today during the stream, they're like, we didn't realize how many people would want it. So we're working on a different way to give them out. So don't be given out as part of Worlds by watching the stream. They're working on a different way so that they can get it to more people. And it's like, what? Like Gen Con feels like it would get to less people. So
I want it.
like
I'm
yeah,
going.
everybody wants it. It's like, what the heck, man? So like, you didn't think people would want this card? I don't understand. It's just crazy. Your game's popular. Embrace it. Overdo stuff. Whatever.
Yes.
Anyways, also they announced like another signed card, like an an Elsa card that if you go to like Disneyland on the day that Reign of Jafar releases, you can get this card, and that's the only way to get it. Or you go to eBay afterwards. Because like the Anna card from last time, like the first day it was like $10 or something on eBay. Now it's like $200.
When does Fabled come out again now?
Huh?
Did you get it for $10?
Yes.
Yeah.
When does Fabled come out?
August 30th. Too late for you.
Can we end the podcast now?
What? No, never.
No.
Anyways. As I was saying, what I was just explaining is that we might be missing the next 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get another episode out. Keep an eye on those channels. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you are only listening, you can find a video version of this where you can see the unboxing, you can see the news, you can see the formats for Worlds, you can see all the cards we've been talking about, all on our YouTube version of this show, just by looking at QuestLore on YouTube. If you're watching us and like, I can't stand their faces, you can always find us on all major podcast platforms. You can send us questions at QuestLoreQuestions@gmail.com. You can find us on social media whenever we remember to post, at QuestLorePod, on Instagram, on Twitter, Blue Sky, TikToks.
Tickety-tocks.
All over the place, you can find us. Thank you, once again, thank you for listening. Please rate, follow, subscribe. Tell your postman about us. I know they're looking for new podcasts, so feel free to let them know all about us. And we will catch you next time on QuestLore.
Chicken jockey for Lorcana! What?
It's just not going to happen, man. I don't...
How about the bring Pilot Piglet back?
He's not long. He's not, like, he hasn't left yet, man.
What happened to Figment?
Yeah, Figment makes sense.
Chicken jockey?
No chicken.